Hollywood is often remembered as a place of beauty, charm, and perfect smiles. Old movies show men in clean suits and women in shining dresses, walking under bright lights and living dream lives. Fans believed their favorite stars were perfect in every way. But behind the cameras, the truth was sometimes very different. Many famous actors and actresses from the golden age of Hollywood lived in ways that shocked the people around them. Some avoided bathing, some hated soap, and others tried to hide bad smells with strong perfume or alcohol. These habits were rarely spoken about in public because studios wanted to protect their stars' images. But crew members, assistants, makeup artists, and close friends saw what really happened. One of the most famous examples was Marilyn Monroe. On screen, she looked fresh and glowing. But in real life, she often skipped bathing and slept with her makeup still on her face. Her makeup artist said that in the morning, he sometimes had to scrape off thick layers of old makeup before putting on new ones. Marilyn liked to use perfume instead of soap, especially Chanel No. 5. Her room often smelled strongly of powder, sweat, and perfume mixed together. Some visitors said the smell was so heavy that windows had to be opened. She believed that her natural scent made her more attractive, and she did not see a problem with it. Another famous star was Marlon Brando, known for his powerful acting and serious roles. Brando did not care much about cleaning himself or his home. People who worked with him said his clothes were often dirty, his hair oily, and his rooms full of old food, cigarette ash, and empty bottles. He did not like to shower often and believed that being natural helped his acting. During the filming of some movies, especially in hot places, crew members said the smell around him became very strong, a mix of sweat, alcohol, and tobacco. They had to open windows or use fans to make the air easier to breathe. Elizabeth Taylor, another great star, had a different habit. She loved perfume more than soap. Instead of washing her body often, she used many different perfumes at the same time, on her neck, hair, arms, and clothes. She believed water and soap took away her beauty. Her dressing room and hotel rooms were always filled with strong, sweet smells. People could tell when she had entered a room, even after she left. Some coworkers said the scent was too much and gave them headaches. Clark Gable, one of the most handsome actors of his time, had a serious problem with his teeth and breath. He lost many of his real teeth early and wore dentures that he did not like to remove. Food sometimes got stuck under them, and this caused a bad smell. Some actresses who had to kiss him on screen said it was very hard and unpleasant. Even though he washed his body every day and dressed well, his breath was something many people remembered with fear. Howard Hughes was not only a movie producer, but also a rich businessman and pilot. After a plane crash, he became very afraid of germs. He made other people clean their hands again and again, but he himself stopped bathing regularly. He locked himself in hotel rooms for months or even years, living in darkness, surrounded by dirty clothes, empty bottles, and waste jars. His hair and nails grew long, and his body smelled very bad. Hotel workers said the smell stayed even after he left. Bette Davis, a strong and famous actress, was known for smoking many cigarettes every day and drinking alcohol. The smell of smoke stayed in her clothes, hair, and furniture. Her house and dressing room were always full of smoke, and even after her death, people said it took a long time to remove the smell from her rooms. Joan Crawford was the opposite of most others. She was afraid of dirt and loved cleaning too much. She washed herself many times a day and made her staff clean everything again and again. Her house looked like a hospital, with no dust anywhere. Some people said living with her was very stressful because nothing was ever clean enough for her. Cary Grant had a strange idea about staying clean. He did not like soap and used lemon juice mixed with water to wash his body. He believed this was healthier and more natural. His bathroom always smelled like citrus fruit, and people around him noticed this sharp or sour scent. Steve McQueen, known for his love of fast cars and motorcycles, often smelled like gasoline and oil. He spent a lot of time fixing engines and riding bikes, then went straight to filming without properly washing. His clothes and hair carried the smell of fuel, sweat, and smoke. Some coworkers joked that standing near him felt like standing in a car repair shop. Errol Flynn, famous for adventure movies, drank heavily and rarely bathed. His body smell was a mix of alcohol, sweat, and perfume. He used cologne to hide it, but it only made the smell stronger and stranger. Many people tried to keep their distance from him during filming because the smell made them feel sick or dizzy. Gary Cooper was known as a quiet and kind man with a gentle smile, but he had a strange fear of brushing his teeth. He believed that toothbrushes damaged the gums and caused teeth to fall out. Because of this, he only rinsed his mouth with water or held mints in it. Over time, his breath became very bad. Some actresses said talking closely to him was difficult, even though they liked him as a person. Spencer Tracy, another famous actor, struggled with alcohol for most of his life. He drank every day and smoked heavily. He rarely took full baths and only wiped himself with a wet cloth. His clothes soaked up the smell of alcohol, sweat, and smoke, and this smell followed him everywhere. On some movie sets, fans had to be used to clear the air. At home, his rooms were filled with empty bottles and the heavy scent of whiskey. His longtime partner, Katharine Hepburn, once said he smelled of sadness and drink, and she loved him but also feared for him. W.C. Fields was known as a comedian who loved alcohol both on and off the screen. He drank from morning until night and believed water was useless. He bathed very rarely. His body smell was so strong that people said you could smell him before you saw him. Chairs, costumes, and rooms where he stayed kept his smell for days. Some scenes had to be filmed without other actors near him because he was too drunk or smelled too strongly. His home was full of hidden bottles, dirty clothes, and old food. Even the air inside his house was heavy and hard to breathe. Tallulah Bankhead was a beautiful and talented actress, but she did not care much about cleaning herself or her clothes. She often went many days without bathing and wore the same dresses again and again, even when they were stained with food, makeup, or alcohol. She also did not like wearing underwear, saying it was uncomfortable. On movie sets, people complained about her strong smell, which was a mix of sweat, smoke, and cheap perfume. Some rooms had to be aired out after she left. Her home was messy and full of cigarette butts, dirty glasses, and old clothes hanging on the walls. Housekeepers often quit after a short time because they could not stand the smell. These stories show that fame did not mean a clean or healthy life. Many stars were lonely, stressed, addicted to alcohol or cigarettes, or troubled by fear and pain from their past. Hollywood studios worked hard to hide these problems, telling magazines only good stories and showing only beautiful photos. Fans never saw the dirty rooms, the unwashed clothes, or the tired people behind the makeup. Instead, they saw perfect smiles and romantic scenes. Some stars used perfume to hide their smell, some avoided water, and others simply did not care what people thought. Crew members often had no choice but to work quietly and accept it, because these actors were powerful and important to the studios. If someone complained too loudly, they could lose their job. So many secrets stayed hidden for years. Over time, some of these stories came out in books, interviews, and memories shared by people who worked behind the scenes. They painted a picture very different from the clean world shown in movies. Hollywood was not only a place of dreams, but also a place of broken habits, strong fears, and deep sadness. The bright lights made everything look perfect, but shadows always existed behind them. Looking back at these stories today, it is easy to laugh or feel shocked, but it is also important to understand the human side of these famous people. They lived in a time when mental health was not discussed openly, and many stars were pushed very hard by studios to work long hours and always look perfect. Some turned to alcohol, cigarettes, or strange habits to deal with stress, pain, and loneliness. Hygiene was sometimes the last thing on their minds. Marilyn Monroe felt insecure and used perfume and makeup as protection. Marlon Brando rejected social rules and did what he wanted, even if others suffered. Howard Hughes was trapped by fear. Bette Davis and Spencer Tracy slowly destroyed their bodies with addiction. Others, like Joan Crawford, tried to control their fear by cleaning too much. These habits became part of their daily lives and followed them everywhere, even onto movie sets and into their homes. Today, we know more about health, addiction, and mental illness, and people are more open about getting help. But in the past, stars were expected to be strong and silent. They smiled for cameras while struggling in private. The stories of bad hygiene are strange and sometimes funny, but they also show how hard life behind fame could be. These men and women gave the world unforgettable movies, but they paid a heavy personal price. Their names are remembered with love. Their faces are still seen on screens, but their private lives were far from perfect. Hollywood's golden age was not only made of gold, but also of dust, sweat, smoke, and hidden pain. Fame can hide many things, and sometimes it hides suffering better than anything else. When we watch these old films today, it is worth remembering that behind every bright smile was a real person, full of weakness and struggle, just like anyone else. If these stories surprised you, you are not alone. They remind us that even legends are human, and that the world behind the camera is often very different from what we see on the screen.